I can only see Jimmy now.
Welcome back. Welcome back to The Verdict. It's been a 3-year hiatus, technically only a week hiatus because I couldn't figure out how to upload last week's solo edition of The Verdict. But all the same, this feels better, and quite frankly, this feels right. Season 11, if you'll believe it, of the Chosen Ones, and an entire flock of Verdicts members, juror members, I should say, out here this evening. We've got a tandem of one team in the O'Connors. Guys, welcome. Good to have you on board.
All I do is peen, no matter what.
We also have a trio of cooks, albeit owners of individual teams. The Palatown Pikachus, the Minnesota Tank Engines, and the Godwhackers. By the way, I should explain to everybody, because there's not a master function on this. So we're going to get better as the verdicts come back. I muted everybody's mic to open the show. So if by chance your mic is still muted, you might want to unmute that. And if you're Al Cook, your mic was muted on purpose because you're sharing a, I think, ambiance setup with Rich Cook. So glad to have you all here. Guys, it feels like post-pandemic nearly. Like there's a whole, people have had children. The COVID pandemic happened. One of the cooks that is in the same house needs to mute their mic so we don't have the echo reverb. It's been great. Everybody's been good. How you guys been? How's everybody been?
Waiting to
that
get
goes
COVID.
for anybody. Literally anybody can take that. Off to a swimming start. Off to a swimming start.
So Rich is waiting to get COVID. I've already had it a bunch of times, so we're waiting for the next the new school year's worth of COVID and other communicable diseases.
Rich is still COVID free.
Man,
Yep.
Wow.
COVID free, not COVID. We've only had it once.
COVID free since '93.
Okay. Congratulations.
It was literally about a year ago.
It was all good just a year ago.
Yep, Julia came in town and we got COVID right before trial, and all was good with us in a few days.
well, I'm glad that we're. It seems like we're gonna keep the.
Speaking of COVID, how about week 1 matchups?
How about the week 1 matchups, Al Cook? It's a great segue to get things going here on the verdict. Week 1 reactions.
Come on.
Al, we'll start with you since you brought it up. How do you feel about how week 1 in the Chosen Ones went?
I felt pretty good. It was a fun week. Jay Cook's team went off. The Dolphins, some Tua madness, some Cheetah.
The Tua to Tyreek Hill combo was special. I can't ignore that for certain.
It's a good combo, for the Matt Ryan, Roddy White days, getting some of that. Never to that extent, but it was fun.
We'll see. As long as as long as Tua stays healthy, I think we'll be fine.
Damn. Let's go. Way to go, C-Dog.
Yeah, I thought the Jets game was pretty good.
Easy,
Jets game was electric. It was a great week. It was a great way to end the week 1 proceedings. I took most points scores for the first time, I think, in a season and a half. 206 points. Bobby J and D. Lobeck in the roughest matchup of the week in terms of scoring, 96-82. And then other scores that pop out, 169 points for Al Cook over Bobby Beef, and Panty Soup handing out all kinds of delicious meals, I guess, to the Godwhackers, 150-111.
Hey,
the final in that one.
What's the deal? Like, why are there 2 Panty Soup teams?
Colin can jump in on this, but if my memory serves me right, Matt's team was Panty Soup last year, and at some point, Matt's team got kind of hot, so Tony decided to change his name to Year of the Panty Soup in honor of the Panty Soup's run of the championship that I think ended in a early round exit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds correct to me. Jay Cook's the official historian of the Choden ones.
There's a lot of history. In fact, I don't know if we're going to break it out tonight because I didn't give you guys assignments. But moving forward, just so you guys know, the Fantasy Football app has plenty of history, including who your weakest opponent is, like who you do the worst again from a
I need
fantasy
that code
football.
once analytics. Let's go.
Wait, what? As what?
There's in-depth Chode Ones analytics all across the board.
Dude, Rich can't even handle it over here.
Rich Cook is
Oh.
gone.
Rich,
What happened
Rich
to Rich Cook?
used himself from the proceedings over here.
How do you get to these
It's the end of the
historical
Rich as we know it.
stats?
Thank you, Matthew. So the historical facts are as follows. If you're looking at just individual matchups, for instance, if you go to the league section of your Choden Ones fantasy football app on ESPN.com, you go to league history, you can find all about your team, get some team insights. For instance, my team has had the most success, and I don't know if I should take this as a compliment or not. I had the most success against Team Dorman. There's a callback. I went 4-1 against Team Dorman with an 800 win percentage, but my toughest opponent has been Nick. I'm only 2-6 in matchups against Nick Kuntz. So there you go. A little fun fact. Everybody can find that out about what their matchup is or what their worst or best matchups are. Welcome back to the stage, Rick Cook.
Yeah,
He's back.
I had somebody text me and it messed up my screen.
That's okay. It's all right. So just some stuff to play around with for future verdicts. And if you want to mess with it now, if you want to go to the league app when we get to your matchup, feel free to maybe chime in if you're like, oh, I've had just the worst luck with this particular opponent, or oh man, I've really dominated Bobby J every time I played him. Like if you feel that confident in something, by all means, pull up the data and show it. Colin, apparently his theme tonight is showing zoomed in photos of verdict members that aren't here. I don't know why Matt Lobeck's face went sideways there, but good work all the same.
Man,
I suppose.
Sideways side.
Matt Lobeck is too thick to fit in the correct way. You know, he's got that athlete body.
That makes sense. I agree with you on that.
Low key thick, you know.
Anyway, are you guys ready to any final thoughts on week 1 before we look ahead to week 2? Any final assessments of where the week
would say
was?
that Jets game, you know, they really showed their Achilles heel at the end of that.
Yeah, I really feel like kind of tore it up a little.
All right. Is everybody ready to get involved then with this week's picks?
Yeah, we'll try to tear you away from that story there, Jay Cook.
You see?
I don't mean to be the heel in this video.
Well, I can promise you one thing. There's one thing I don't have on the soundboard, but I will have it for next week. Boo. Boo. I don't have it yet, but we'll get there.
Tough
then-
little thing to stick your toe in the water.
That would be
on.
good for the Halloween themed one coming up.
Indeed. All right. Well, if that's it, assuming things don't glitch out, which they probably will, let's head towards this week's picks, shall we? Everybody ready? Everybody ready to roll?
Let's ride.
Let's
Let's
ride
roll.
indeed.
Show world, let's ride.
For week 2 of the verdict, we'll get started with our opening round matchup.
D-Lo, back from his honeymoon already.
I feel like Chris.
He is back.
Oh my God. And
This
head's
is something
giant.
special.
That's a fat head.
Damn it. All right. So I'm trying my best here to change our screen layout, but if it doesn't work the fancy way that I want it to, we're just going to say screw it. And there we go. All right. We did it. Knew we could do it in the end. All right. So we'll start first with, we'll go in order. So we'll start with my matchup, the AFC Richmond Greyhounds against the Perry Manor PD Cruisers. I was projected to beat Jay by 18 prior to Thursday Night Football. It's now down to 6. Guys, when you wait to look at both these matchups as we wait for things to load, and it's good to know that the screen sharing is going as fast as possible here. This is just fine-tuned, high-powered technology that we have on display here. In the
What's
Field Ones.
what's the word on that Vikings Eagles matchup? I haven't been watching.
Currently, it's 27-14 Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't know how zoomed in this actually looks on the StreamYard tab. So if it's garbage, then I would advise you all just to look at your own screens and do it from there.
Yes.
Is it just black now? Is that all that's happened? Is that where we're at?
No. I can see the screen share.
All right. So there you are with the screen share. Let's go top to bottom. I can't make this prediction because it's my matchup. Matthew, who do you think takes this one between the Perry Manor PD Cruisers and AFC Richmond?
I'm taking Jay this week. Personally. I'm waiting for the match.
Colin?
to load.
Is it my turn? Okay. Well, number one, Matthew already broke the number one rule of the verdict, which is to never pick Jay to win. It's been long-standing. Because there's a reason
I mean,
why.
I blame you on that.
I'll simply warn you that right now, Jay is over in the Mideast cavorting with terrorists. You might not want to piss him off.
Exactly. He has much more important things to be thinking
Yes.
about than playing against the AFC Richmond, the out-of-date name.
Right.
Jay will be over there concerned with Middle East. He's going to forget to set his
Season
lineup window.
3 finished a couple months ago. It's still a pop culture reference. What are we talking about?
The Perry Manor PD Cruisers will beat Jimmy. I was going to go full circle there and
Wow.
say you're
So
not
Neil
supposed to
Connors-
win and then Jay to win.
Well, that's what you did. So well done. Al Cook, how do you feel about this matchup?
I feel like I'm gonna go with Jimmy Cook book and AFC Richmond. I feel good about
Appreciate that. Bobby J.
Right.
Man, I think
Great question. My team's one on the left.
let's
Yeah,
see.
good
Yeah, Jim, who well, fuck it. I'm gonna go PD Cruisers. I'm just feeling it.
Damn.
Feeling some police brutality.
Rich Cook, who you like in this matchup?
Well, Jay Cook, based on the strength of last week's performance, I'm probably going to have to go with your team, and the fact that I know Jay probably hasn't looked at his lineup, and he may be in a place where it's impossible for him to look at it. So I think given all those factors, it looks to me like your team is probably the definitive favorite.
Does Jay ever have to go to like that? Like, what are the odds that Jay would be traveling somewhere where his phone would be flagged by the government because of something that was said in this fantasy football league?
Very likely. Very likely.
If we can make that, that would be interesting.
Is he going to go to China and China's like, what are the Joden ones? And then he gets like,
No,
pulled over.
literally, he's making his way through the Mideast.
it.
Oh man.
I mean, you name the Mideast country, I think he's supposed to be there.
All right. So anyway, we've made our predictions, and looks like we've had me selections from Al, and that's the whole list. So safe travels to Jay Loschke. Hopefully, in the middle of danger, a victory this week is enough to keep him safe.
More like Jay
Let's take a
Winchie.
look at.
Highway to the
Well done, Jay Winchke. It took us 10 years, 11 years for that. I'm very proud of everybody involved. It is the Minnesota Tank Engines versus America's team, the Glizzy Jigglers. It should be a stellar matchup for certain this week. We'll start with the participants of that matchup, Colin and Bobby J. How you feeling about your team? How you feeling about this week?
Man, my team's hot garbage. There's not much to say. Like Joe Burrow, like I don't even know what he's getting paid for right now. I'm hoping they'll figure everything out by the back half of the season, but it's looking pretty rough right now. So
I think in 11 years of fantasy football, the best thing my team has ever done is make you say the Glizzy Jigglers live on the verdict.
Well, I'm going to honor the team names. I'm going to honor the team names as best I can, but that's well said. Well said.
Baby Baker is a big fan of the Glizzy Jigglers.
Well jiggled, if you want to know my opinion.
Rich, you should look up the term glizzy before you are talking about the Glizzy Jigglers. I would advise you to do that on wherever you can, Urban Dictionary that, and then come back and report on this insanity that is Colin and his team name choices. All right, I'll start this one off. I do think there's a bounce back week from Joe Burrow this week. It's literally a dead tie, a dead heat. But the big thing that's going to change this and flip it, quite frankly, for the tank engines is Austin Eckler's status. I don't think there's Austin Eckler out there in Tennessee. I think it's going to impact Colin's side of the ledger. Bobby J bounces back and gets to 1-1.
Matthew, we have Austin.
Al Cook, you're
Yes, we do have
next on the list.
Bobby J has Nick Chubb and no one else.
Oh, wait. Al. I'm sorry to cut you off. This is rude of me on multiple fronts. I apologize. Matthew, I didn't give you the opportunity to talk about your team because you're a co-owner. How do you feel about this week? I apologize.
Keenan Allen is an old man. He's not going to score more than 5 points this week. Then Nick Chubb,
all right,
he'll get injured or something.
So not only does Matthew not talk about his team, he breaks the age-old respect that's built into the chosen ones and just shits on the Minnesota Tank Engines. All right, the gauntlet has been set. Al Cook, who are you picking this week?
Well, I was going to shit on some more players as well. You know, after Joe's week 1 performance, he should Burrow.
Al Cook, would it kill you from an audio-visual standpoint to sit next to your father? Because I could barely hear you.
All right. How about we go to Rich Cook?
That didn't help. I can see him just fine. It's a volume issue.
Jay Cook, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
All
I
right,
can.
Jay Cook. I'm going to go with Colin's team. I just feel like, based upon Bob's own strong recommendation for Colin, I think I'm just follow his lead there. And Colin, it looks like you are probably going to prevail again.
All right, Al Cook, what do you like?
I'm going to shit on Joe Burrow again and say he should burrow his head after that week 1 performance. I think he does better than he did last week, which isn't saying much. And Keenan Allen's gonna injure his leg, be out for the year, like he always is. And I think C-Dog's gonna pull this out.
There you go.
Man,
you got it right.
That is all I'll say is in honor of Rich Cook. That was some cold analysis, is what that was. No doubt about that. Here's the Baker. Love that joke. Let's go right down the list. It's DJ Chark do versus Take Mahomes Country Road. Currently in progress. Talking about outdated names, Colin. There it is right there. He's not even on his team. Jalen Hurts has 33 already for D. Lobeck. He's projected to win by 5, though, because of the Devonta Smith offset. We can all pick this. Actually, yeah, we can all pick this game. We'll stay here. I broke my usual rule. We can all pick this game. Let's start first with Bobby J, if you're ready. If not, we'll go to Matthew.
Yeah. No, I think I'm going to take some inspiration from Colin's background earlier. I think we're going with the team Lobeck over here, DJ Chark.
All right, so pulling the throwback out and using Colin's mega face plants and taking D. Lobeck. Let's go to Matthew. Matthew, how do you feel about this matchup between Take Mahomes Country Road and DJ Chark?
I'm going to take David in this one. I think Najee Harris and George Kittle will both have lower weeks due to their opponents. And Brock Purdy's just not that good.
All right. I like it. Should be noted that Beef had Rodgers and he died, so that's why he's going with Purdy.
Oh.
But all that aside, when I look at this matchup, I think that the edge is for David. It's hard to argue that. Bobby Beef doesn't have a ton of explosive material on his roster outside of Devonta Smith, who's playing right now, and that's all set with Jalen
Achilles.
I would say
So
Aaron is explosive, but
I'm going to go with David Lobeck as well. Al Cook, what do you think?
I got to go with D-Lo as well. I mean, Jalen Hurts is having a night right now, and, I think he's got some solid pieces around that, around Hurts, and I think he'll pull it out,
I like that. Rich Cook, who do you think?
I'm going to have to ditto that. He's got the more solido team, and I think that will prove true. So once again, it just doesn't look good for certain teams given the injuries and the way things are shaping up.
And Colin.
I would like to take a moment to bring us back to an centuries-old verdict tradition by giving my pick through the form of music. Also, shout out Cleveland for the land. All in Cleveland. Go Team Lobeck.
All in CLE. I don't think I have any all in Cleveland stuff around me right now, but all in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
They pulled a LeBron
So
for some nice weather down south.
So everybody went D Lobeck?
Yeah.
The DBs.
All right. Well, Matthew, I don't know why you're bringing in
DBs.
that type of profanity into the chat, but all I know is that's a good old fashioned a sweep. That's what that is right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is a sweep by the juror members, or otherwise known as 25 to life in some jurisdictions. As we move right along, let's go to Rich Cook's matchup and Al Cook's matchup. Oh my goodness. How about the schedule makers right here? It is a father-son match, week 2 of the verdict. The Palatown Pikachus against the Godwhackers. Rich Cook projected to win this one by 9, thanks to the stellar play from Jordan Addison. Meanwhile, Al Cook has to be thrilled that his full pantry of tight ends has delivered a touchdown for him in TJ Hawkinson. AJ Brown, though, leaving a bit to be desired. And Jake Elliott, 15 points for him for good old Al Cook. Let's start first with the combatants. Rich Cook, Al Cook, they're on the same couch. They're on the same camera. What do you guys think?
Well, I will say this. I got to thank Big Al. I was trying to make a decision as to which quarterback. Big Al told me I probably want to avoid Kirk Cousins this evening, given the defense.
Classic Al Cook giving advice during a matchup with another opponent.
Yeah. So I listened to Big Al's advice, and then I said, "Oh gosh, we're playing each other."
And it's kind of worked out. Kirk's got 24 almost, and there's some time left. So, I think my advice probably worked out. Ironically, before I found out it was Rich Cook I was playing.
There you go.
I'd like to think the best, and that Al truly had my best interest at heart.
No, of course.
Well, it's pretty fascinating to think about. 2 champions of the chosen ones on the same couch. It's pretty remarkable when you have that kind of star power under one roof. That type of respect, just mutual admiration, and also ignorance to not know they were playing one another could be present all at the same time. It's quite marvelous. Let's get to the picks.
Too concerned about our clients to be focused on ourselves. It's a selfless work that we do.
Nah, man. Totally.
I admire it.
Totally.
I respect it. It's not an infomercial, Ken Nunn. Let's get over to Bobby J. Bobby J, what do you like in this matchup? Who you picking?
Man, I'm really confused with Al. Why did you pick all these tight ends, dog?
Because they kept falling. Nobody wanted them. The value was there at that point. I felt like.
Oh man,
Al Cook fell in the boat that most auto drafters fall into, which is the value of the tight end is just too much to pass on.
That was my story last year, man. It was like
Yes, it was. You auto drafted and you got like 7 tight ends. Yes, exactly what happened. Yep.
This is
Uh,
well.
It's not like I got a bunch of shit tight ends at least. But,
No, Al Cook has solid tight ends. The only issue is that like with the league evolving as it has and its wide receiver tight ends, I mean, like you're basically playing a dart throw of which tight end could score this week. Al Cook picked the right one. TJ Hawkinson got him a touchdown. So I can ask for.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll go with the Al Cook Chippendales then for this week.
Oh, we lost the Cooks. That's classic. All right. Well, we'll continue on. That's so par for the course. Why is your name DJ Cook? I don't understand. Could you elaborate?
What do you mean? I don't know.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, I'm going to go Al Cook as well. I think Bijan Robinson and Justin Fields, and maybe this is also my bold prediction mixed in. I think they combine for 60 this week, and it leads Al Cook victory.
See, man, I'm not really sold on Justin Fields. I feel like he got figured out at the end of last year.
I'm not really sold on him either, but both these teams are kind of garbage, if we're being honest with ourselves. So I'm going to go Palatine Pikachus. Colin, who do you like in this matchup?
You know, it's like Jimmy Fallon always says, you never look a prize whale in the mouth. And so with that in mind, I'm looking at these rosters. The one that I see as projected to score more points, the Godwhackers. And it's not my role to go against ESPN's projections. So I'll go with the Godwhackers.
Well, that is very admirable of you, and I admire it. So one Godwhacker. Matthew, do you concur with your brother, or do you concur
I'm a
with
big
the
fan
Cooks?
of the Steely Dan reference.
Yes, I do concur with my brother, but for a different reason.
Let's go.
All right. Al Cook, why'd you get a let's go? What happened?
AJ Brown, I'm hoping caught a touchdown barring a flag, but I could be behind and it could be a fail. But
Offensive
cool.
pass interference.
Nice. Way to go, Penny.
All right. Matthew, you concurred with your brother, says all the predictions for that matchup, which leaves us with, I believe, just one matchup left. And it is, 2 matchups. I beg your pardon. We'll start first with Year of the Panty Soup versus Fuck Family Fun Night. A battle of the 1-0s, a brother bowl. Gotta love.
Let's remember who we have listening in tonight, Jake.
And that's enough of that. Anyway, so the Brother Bowl is on in full effect for this matchup. We'll start with, we can go all juror members here. Juror number 9 that was talking out of turn. I got to unmute him real quick. Welcome back. All right, let's start first with Matthew. Matthew, who do you like in this matchup? You're the Panty Soup versus Family Fun Night.
I think I'm going to take Tony this week, just because of the raw star power he has on his team.
The raw star power that he has on the team.
Yeah. I'm a huge believer in Calvin Ridley and Garrett Wilson this year.
You know,
All right. I support it. Here for it.
Ryan made this team name a few years back, and I would like him to reconsider his thoughts on Family Fun Night now that he has his children of his own. I wonder if he still thinks this way about Family Fun Night.
Somebody explain
that
the
in
reference to him. Mike trying to fix it.
No, I
That's
get the
a
reference.
deep question there, Sea Dog. It's a Chiefs reference. Great defensive coordinator.
Cunningham.
You know what else is a
Hey,
Chiefs
Gunther.
reference? Is having a racial trope as a mascot and doing the tomahawk chant.
It's
And,
true.
cultural appropriation. We don't have to make our teams named after some cultural appropriation.
That's right.
So,
Really, they could just leave, honestly.
with that in mind, I picked the panty soups.
Who's not gone yet?
Oh, I haven't gone yet. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Flying Gunthers.
The Flying Gunthers, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at Ryan's lineup. It's solid, man. I think he's got some good stuff going on. I don't know about that Broncos defense, but I guess Tony's got Giants
Well,
too.
I've heard it through the grapevine that there's actually some collusion we should probably be out on the lookout for. Is that whoever wins this matchup gets the loser's best players because they're really just trying to have a Kyler championship this year to break up the Jay Cook back-to-back.
Oh man.
And so we need to make sure we're watching out for that after this week.
Well, I appreciate you working as an informant, and we'll definitely keep that in line. I'm going to go with Ryan this week on the sole basis that I think Pat Mahomes lights the world on fire and Trevor Lawrence underperforms and Chris Jones sacks him 3 times. So, yeah, a family fun night. I'll cook.
I'm gonna ditto that as well. I think could be the rose-colored glasses that make me feel that way as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go with old family fun night.
No, family fun night is fun. You get around, you have a nice pizza dinner from Domino's. You watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. There's nothing wrong. You play Monopoly.
If Chris Jones gets 3 sacks, do you think he can keep his hog in his pants?
Not if he has to run another 40 to get it.
It's a great question.
We're asking the right questions here. Rich Cook, fuck family fun night or Year of the Panty Soups?
I'm gonna go with the, Effers.
The Fudge family fun night. Now that sounds like a good family fun night. Am I right, Sea Dog?
It doesn't sound right.
Oh,
Sounds
yeah,
like
man.
Child Protective Services is going to be called in if you want my opinion. But
You get some Sonic. You watch I Think You Should Leave.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
Fun night.
All right.
Are you
think
sure?
we- I'm not worried
about it. I'm not worried about any of it.
Oh, no, they're trying to make it look fake.
I'm gonna kill you.
They said I was just a stupid hick.
there you go. Analysis.
People think
You
I'm
won't
Any
get
other-
that anywhere.
I'm not trying to make it.
Has anybody not made a prediction? Has anybody not made a prediction yet for this matchup?
I used to be a piece of shit.
All right. I think you still are. Let's be real here. All right.
Hey, people can change. People
No, they
change.
can't. Hey, Al would hold Baker, but he used to be a piece of shit, so Baker won't like it.
Yeah, Baker likes some extra sloppy for sure.
You can't hold my kid.
All right.
And there's no-
It's his house. That's all I'll say.
All right. Our final matchup of the week: CD's Nuts versus Panty Soup. Nick Coots versus Matt Lobeck.
Oh man,
What? It's after CD Lamb, and he's talking about nuts. I don't understand what the deal is. Anybody help me?
well,
out?
you better
Don't get it.
keep your nuts in your panties.
I
That's
mean,
all I can say.
I would say the same because Panty Soup has the happy ending extraordinaire in Deshaun Watson at quarterback.
Uh,
Oh, All right.
Talk about
So
driving
look at
me
the
nuts.
predictions.
I heard Bob
Looking at
Kraft is buying panty suit.
Mhm.
Oh man, those are
All
like
right,
some
looking
sleepy
at-
pants.
All right. That deserves a mute, which it will get, as well as crickets. All right. Now let's look at the projections for this matchup. Nick projected to win by 3, 133.5 to 130.5. I feel bad for Nick because we haven't gotten to this part of the verdict. And if I can actually get there in time, I will address it. But Nick Kuntz felt like he needed to go out and get a wide receiver. And I admire that a great deal because sometimes you need to go out and go make a big bid. Well, the big acquisition this week was Puka Nakua, the wide receiver for the Rams, right? So bids for Puka Nakua include DJ Chark at $37, the Palatown Pikachu at $33. The anybody else put in for him? No, nobody else put in for him except Fuck Family Fun Night at $49 and Nick Kuntz, CD's nuts at $73 to go get Puka Nakua. That's where that bid ends up. Before we elaborate on that, a couple other notable bids here. $41 spent for Kenneth Gainwell by DJ Chark. He dropped Van Jefferson to do that. Al Cook missed out. He bid $16 for him, was unsuccessful. Other unsuccessful bids, Bobby Beef tried to get Zay Jones. He could not because DJ Chark spent another $17 to go out and get Zay Jones. So $58 spent on 2 players by DJ Chark, $73 spent by Nick Kuntz to get Puka Nakua, and then a couple other smaller transactions were made here and there to go ahead and acquire free agents. But one note, Puka Nakua, as reported by Adam Schefter earlier today, regrettably did not practice Thursday due to an oblique injury. So very, very dark situation potentially for CD's nuts because he spent all that money in free agency and it might not matter. Any reactions from the juror members to the overspend, not quite near the 101 Rich Cook Jack Doyle bid that was unopposed? At least Nick had opposing bids here versus where Rich Cook bid against himself, Chris Ballard style, in a mirror. Rich Cook throwing his phone in rage over the recollection of the Jack Doyle bid. Thoughts on Puka Nakua getting $73 from Nick Kuntz?
Who is Jack Doyle?
That makes me so happy. Matthew, he's a former Colts tight end, went to Cathedral, and currently coaches flag football for his children up here on the north side. And Rich
He went
Cook
for
spent $101
$14
on him
in free
unopposed in
agency.
free agency.
Oh god.
It was probably 5 years ago now, but there was a time when I had a bunch of free time and I was making This Week in Verdict history, and one of them was Rich Cook spends $101 on Jack Doyle in the Verdict React. We had eyewitness testimony. We had eyewitness testimony for whether or not Rich Cook knew or did not know the budget did not reset, and it was only $150 for the whole season. It was the whole thing.
Jim, it sounds like somebody's taking over your body. We got like an evil voice coming across. You
Sounds
there?
like-
Is that for everybody? Or is that just Cooks?
Over here.
He sounds so evil.
I guess I'm with that. We're out.
Hey,
Can somebody confirm for me? I muted the Cooks. Is that just them? Because I can hear it on their feedback, or do I really
Yeah,
sound?
it's
That's
100% just them. Like whatever's happening
Okay.
at their
Good. Okay.
On
All
my,
right, they
on
left.
my end, you sound
I thought
like
so.
kind of squeaky, but like no more squeakier than you normally sound. I couldn't get through that with straight face.
Dude,
Thanks.
I want to
Thank
give
you.
I want to give a shout out to Nick because he's done a really good job of assembling like all of his lineup. Like there's a lot of like sack and nuts potential and names that he's got on there. I mean, we got Saquon
Are you
Barkley,
referring to Saquon Barkley?
CD Lamb, DK. Like,
The Cardinals
All right, hey.
defense.
yeah.
All right, well done, well done. Hey, Rich
Well,
Cook
dude-
and Al Cook.
Pink.
Rich Cook and Al Cook.
They're gone.
Hold on, they're joined. No, they're back.
We're
They're
here.
back. Rich Cook and Al Cook. We established that it was your connection that was causing that, so no one else heard me like an evil demon. So if you still hear that, it's probably just on your end.
Like a
I've
half
unmuted you now.
percent on my phone. So
You sound fine now.
All right.
I've got like a 0.5% on my phone. So we'll probably be dead here soon. So
All right. Well, let's hurry and sprint through this then. CD's nuts versus panty soup. I believe in Harvey Dent and I believe in Nick Kuntz. I'm taking CD's nuts.
Who's Harvey Dent?
All right. So Colin has been muted and banned temporarily for his pick for his lack of Dark Knight knowledge. Breaks my heart. Bobby J, who are you taking?
Man,
the
I would
villain Batman.
That was
rather
Harvey Kent.
I would much rather CD's nuts than get a rectal massage from old Deshaun Watson. So
All right. Matthew, who do you like?
I'm going to take Panty Soup this week for 2 reasons. One, because I do not support the naming of CD's Nuts kicker. And 2, because he has David Montgomery.
Who's his kicker?
I'm afraid to say it out loud.
it's
Okay. Now I need
Is it Young Wei Koo?
Young Hoku.
See?
Young Wei Koo is his actual name, but he's taking a page out of out of Jay Loshke's playbook and calling him Young Hoku. That's good. Well done. Matthew draws the line at Young Ho. That's good. I'm glad to know that. Colin?
I want to give a shout out to Nick Kuntz for being, besides me, the only person who annually changes their team name, which I really appreciate because we have way too many outdated references in this league. Like,
See-
we might as well just bring back Baba Dashande at this point.
Dude, you better watch it or I'm gonna team Norman.
I mean, is so?
Oh,
I'm
Team
surprised
Norman?
that someone's name isn't What's Up with a Bud Light logo at this point. Where are we going?
I can go deeper than that,
So,
man.
like, is David Lobeck's team name the Fidget Spinners?
All right, man.
I'm going to show up next week and someone's team
You're here?
name is going to be I watched the NFL on my VCR last night.
Well, there goes my team name now.
Oh, man.
I'm going
we're
to name
talking
my
about this
team.
as we watch Primetime Kirk totally rebrand himself live on national Amazon Prime.
They've turned the ball over 4 times.
Al Michaels is half dead.
Who?
And The Dark Knight ended 15 years ago. So I don't know why we're making Dark Knight references. Like,
The
Christopher
Dark
Nolan
Knight
is on to
came
bigger
out.
and better things. Oh, he almost fumbled. That's a tutty. We back.
It would be
That's all.
pretty special if our bet
I
hits
think-
and the
I think
Vikings
Nick
end up
Kuntz.
winning by 1.
All right. So
Okay.
Jim, we'll have a name change incoming tonight for the tank engines.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Colin,
I mean, is it going to be like a Game of Thrones reference? Like, is it going to be like Khaleesi? Like
No.
in another show that ended 15 years ago?
name
Don't
me
worry.
name me a legitimate reference. Name me a legitimate Game of Thrones reference and not just a character that you just happen to know.
Your name was that Winter Snowman Direwolves for a time.
God damn it. Well, you got Direwolf, so I'll give you that. It was Winterfell. Fuck you.
Winterfell.
Hey Colin, I'm gonna name my I'm not actually gonna do this, but somebody should name their team name the TiVo Testicles. So you get TiVo, little throwback going on.
I mean,
Good times.
someone's gonna put the Verizon. Can you hear me now? Good, and have their team name's gonna be like the Verizon.
You're giving away free names, man. You gotta be careful.
I mean, I might as well
Hey,
rename my name the Little Caesars Hot and Ready Pizza at this point.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's still the $5 sponsor. Speaking of which, most points scored this week. Great segue, Colin. Let's take a look at who we think is going to get the most points in the chosen ones. Again, I don't know when the last time I had it, but I know that it had been a while, and I know I had not crossed the 200-point threshold. Good news, I did research going into today. That's right. I actually did it a couple of nights ago. Here are the teams that have scored 200 points in our league's history. Let's take a look, shall we? All right. Teams that have scored 200 points. The Pallettown Pikachu scored 206 points in week 8 of the 2019 season. Year of the Panty Soup scored 212 points, which is a league record in week 3 of the 2019 campaign. The Godwhackers scored 209 points in week 4 of the 2018 season. And now me in week 1 of the 2023 campaign. That's it. That's the whole list of people that have scored over 200 points.
How long did it
Does
take
anybody
you to
come
figure
close
that
to
out?
that? So fun fact, again, in years past, it would have taken me an ungodly amount of time because I'd have to go back to the history tab and all this. But thanks to the fantasy app, when you go to the league and you go to league history, you can scroll to a section that is labeled in-depth stats about the team, and it'll show you your highest points that you've scored in a particular week. So for me, it was 196. My lowest, 70 in 2017. That was a bad day. That's not a league low, by
That
the way.
was-
Rich Cook, I think, has the lowest total. But
That
there you
was
go.
pre-rule changes, though. We changed the scoring
Right,
rules.
that's
After.
important. That is important. The rule, there was a scoring rule
Oh.
change, which is key to some of those metrics.
Speaking of rule changes, when are we going to re-add the 2 defenses and 2 kickers? I think that was in crucial.
Now, something happened to Matthew because he's been sent backstage. I'm not sure what happened there, but Matthew can still hear me. But Matthew, you've been thrown backstage for the time being until we just let what you just said marinate for a second. Because regrettably, I don't need 2 Collins in this league. I already have 1, causing enough havoc and chaos. For instance, I give him
We need
credit
3.
because I love him like a brother. But it's very, very disheartening when I'm trying to get just a simple draft order set up, and then, hey, are we still carrying 2 defenses and 2 kickers for a mother that knows that we're not carrying 2 defenses and 2 kickers? Anyway, I bring Matthew back to the stage. Most points scored this week for the Little Caesars $5 pizza. Where do you think it goes? Bobby J, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I think it's all on CD's nuts, baby.
Man. All right. I like it. Colin?
The highest points. The Minnesota Tank Engines.
Oh.
Bet against yourself.
He plays you. That's always a great choice. Good move. Veteran move. Veteran move.
Take Mahomes Country Road. Also a very outdated reference. Come on, Pat Mahomes isn't even your quarterback anymore, Bob. Come on.
Well, it was death by crustaceans. In a
Death by
sense,
crustaceans.
banned rule, we don't change team names anymore for the winner of the league to the loser or to a loser, but he has kept it since last year. So
That's too bad.
Can I share a quick fun fact?
sure.
My team is 61-61
Perfect media.
in league history. So we
Now,
are.
is that, I don't know if it updates weekly or not. That might be going into this season. I don't know that. Either way, very impressive, but just a word of the warning.
You can call us
Because
the
my
cold,
team-
the cold play of the chosen ones, just like perfectly average.
Yeah, so it's going into last season, so I will call you the Coldplay, the chosen ones. That's nice.
Hey,
Um,
I told Jay-Z I got a song with Coldplay. Next thing I know, he got a song with Coldplay.
Thanks, Matthew, for quoting Kanye. We needed a Kanye quote tonight. Oh, my toughest opponent in league history, Jay Cook. 4-8 in history against Jay Cook.
really? Wow,
Wow.
that's now 4-9. That's pretty impressive.
Easiest opponent, the Minnesota Take Engines, 9-2.
Ooh, spicy. Spicy. The matchup this week, 9-2.
I'd like to make myself highest point
You
scorer
say
because apparently my
9-2?
team loves playing in Minnesota.
Did you
The
say
win-
9-2?
Bobby J is the Jets, and I am the New England Patriots.
Apparently.
Colin O'Connor. Did you say 9-2?
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's impressive. Wow. All right. My most points scored this week, I am going to say that it is taken with aggressive authority by Buck Family Fun Night.
Watch. Family Fun Night. It's a bad rapping.
Has anybody not given their most points? I've lost track.
I have not yet.
Can we talk?
All right, Matthew, what do you got?
I'm gonna take DJ Chark this week because of Jalen Hurts' outstanding performance already.
Good pick.
I like it. All right, Bobby J, you made yours already, right?
Yeah. Dude, I went with
All right, that
CDs.
leaves us with America's favorite segment, bold predictions.
Yes.
I know everybody's very excited about the return of bold predictions. So many people have missed bold predictions. I was trying to find a song that is appropriate for bold predictions, but I can't find the one I'm looking for. So I will instead let Colin go ahead and actually, here we go. Bold prediction time. Does anybody have a bold prediction ready to go?
Oh man. Yeah. I think this week Deshaun Watson will be, I think he breaks more than he saves in Cleveland, and they lose a lot.
So I went and saw Chappelle last night at Cambridge. So I tipped the cap at the reference for you. That was good stuff. Well done. All right. So you say that Deshaun Watson performs.
I think he's gonna be busy looking for masseuses after his showing this week.
So it's not a good showing then. All right. Matthew, do you have a bold prediction?
Yes. I'm predicting a huge blowout against both of the Lowbacks this week because they're from Cleveland.
Oh man.
Wow. So going straight for Cleveland. That's what I understand.
Deep brown
Against Cleveland.
The Lobeck family they're all big fans of duct tape.
What?
But it's going to take
It's a
more
deep
than
cut.
duct-
That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
It's going to take more than duct tape to fix their rosters after this week.
Oh, that's a deep cut. Well done. All right. My bold prediction is that Lamar Jackson outscores Kirk Cousins, making Al Cook having made the wrong decision when giving his father lineup advice,
No,
and it winds up costing him.
Oh, man. That's a slow game.
Pretty sure ball
DeAndre
game,
Swift
that's
has
tough.
a good 30 points on Bobby J's bench tonight.
It's tough. It's brutal. Well,
Well, I never had to
gentlemen.
make my bold prediction.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, go ahead.
All right, here it is. Ron Colley tomorrow night plays at Garin in a game that will be called by James Robert Cook. What's Kevin's middle name?
What's up?
And Kevin Evelyn Bonich, principal.
That's from Jaime. You made
Kevin
that
Evelyn
up.
Bonich. My bold prediction is that Ron Colley and Garin will score more points tomorrow night than DJ Chark is to do.
Wow. What a bold prediction.
Yeah.
That is the definition of a bold prediction. Well, listen, it's been great to have the verdict back. Hopefully, next week we add even more juror members. Maybe we were able to get a hold of and reach out to the Lobecks, perhaps, or maybe Eastman or Ryguy come back into the fold. Who knows? Either way,
If not, I can just make my
Matthew-
picture one of them.
just like you did tonight. The only one that did not make the rounds tonight was a picture of Bobby Beef, which I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't get a picture of Brother Bob in your
I'm
backdrop.
too scared of Bob.
But-
He scares me too much.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Anyway, though, it's been great to have everybody back. As always, make sure you set those lineups.
I don't want him to,
If you have not, go ahead.
Nope.
All right. If you have not set those lineups yet, make sure you do so. Don't have regret leaving a solid running back on the bench and have it haunt you all weekend. Don't let that be you. And additionally, $25 is our league entry fee. If you have not paid that, pay it to me. If you feel like you were owed money last year that would go into your league amount, shoot me a text. We'll get you square and get you ready to roll. Bobby J, I know you're all square, so that message was not directed towards you. Anyway, final thoughts from our juror members here in our opening edition of The Verdict.
Matthew, turn your
Any
homework
final
in.
thoughts?
Do your homework, Matthew.
I'm so glad that
Well,
the
that's-
verdict is back. I'm glad that we're going to be under an hour for our return episode. We were only, I mean, an hour long, an hour late. We're all good here. So
That's pretty big. I think we can all agree that is without a doubt a massive accomplishment for us. And maybe, who knows, maybe next week we will be under 45 minutes. Who's to say? But
we'll see.
anyway, the O'Connors have left. It's just me and Bobby J now. That's pretty much how things go. So before we ramble for another 15 minutes, and Bobby J, you're welcome to stay once I press end stream. Appreciate all of you. Get the money turned into us. And thank you so much for hanging around with us tonight on this week's edition of The Verdict. Till we talk to you next week, get those lineups set. Kamish, Jake Cook, we're out.